Okay, welcome to Online Speech 128. In this short video, I'm going to give you a little orientation to the Canvas part of the course. My name is Mark Fry. I'm one of your instructors, along with Sherry Diesler. And you've got two teachers for the price of one for this class. So we're going to both be here to help you guys get through this online class. And in the short video, I just want to show you a little bit a way to look at Canvas and to see how we've organized the course just to make your journey a little bit easier. So I'm here at the very beginning. You'll see that we've got our email addresses right here at the very top so that you can get in contact with us super easily. I'm going to click here on this link to start the course, and it's going to take me right into what I call the most important part of the course, the modules. Okay, the modules. Not all teachers organize their courses exactly the same, but we have it organized by module, and the assignments are built into that. So the idea is a module is like a chapter, right? A chapter in a book. So the first module is the introduction to the class, and this is basically all the beginning stuff. We've got the syllabus in here, which we'll look at in a few minutes. Just a welcome letter. There's a little thing about a couple of videos that each of us made about ourselves so that you get to know us a little better. You're in this section right now. If you're looking at this video, navigating the course, there's a section here on communication in the course, how to reach us, the easiest, best ways to do that, and how to get support. Like if you need support from counselors or whoever within the college, technology support, it's all contained in this introduction to the class module. There is a short, little, super easy quiz at the end for you to take that you need to do by October 20th, which is just a little bit about the introduction, just to make sure that you understand how to get started in the course. Super easy. And there's also a discussion question, which you will see when you click on it, where you get to actually click and record a little video of yourself, just introducing yourself to the class. There's a few quick little questions to answer, and you'll get to look at some of the other videos as well after you do it. It's just a way of getting to know each other a bit so that you don't feel like you're all complete strangers in this class, since we're completely online for this course. So this is the very first module, first unit. All right, second module is called About the Course. And this goes into some detail just about some of the specifics of getting started with the course, how to get started with what's called the war story speech that we're going to do in the beginning of the class. This is where you're going to tell a story about a time when you got into some kind of difficulty. This is the one public speaking part of the course where you get to practice storytelling, and you're going to tell us a story. It's a bit of an adventure, a time when you got in some kind of trouble, and then what happened, and then how did it end? Like what did you learn? What is the moral of your story, which is how you end this story that you tell us. Now, one thing that's very helpful here is our tips, but they're also examples, and I want to show you what this looks like here. Over the years, and you have to click up here on the link to get to this, but it's going to my Vimeo site here, and we've recorded over the years over 100 examples of war story speeches, and they're all short. They're like approximately 3 minutes long, and the cool thing here is that you can look through, and I find them really entertaining. I think you will too. You do not have to watch all of these speeches, but it's fun to pick a couple at least and watch and listen to their war story so that you get an idea of what it's like and what they've gone through. And it'll give you some ideas too about your own war story speech. It's kind of a fun way to go about that. Then you'll be uploading it to Canvas so that we can take a look at your stories. All right, the next module is what we call the skill package. Now, this is like the large project of the course. This is actually the biggest part of the course. In fact, there's a separate video that I made that goes over this in detail just because it's a little more complicated. So I'm going to skip over that for now, but I just want you to realize that there is a separate module, and it's something you need to get started on in the first week or so, because it's going to be something you're going to be working on throughout the whole duration of the course, along with the other activities of the course. But this is like your big project, so we'll come back to that in a separate video. Now, besides the skill package, the rest of the course is broken down into chapters. The other modules are chapters. There's chapter 1, and when you click on these different links, you will actually see that it's written chapters out like in a book, and you read the first chapter. There's also a couple of lectures that I made that are audio lectures that you can just listen to. There's a text version and an audio version. And then you'll get into chapter 2, and it continues along the same lines. There'll be things for you to actually to read and to go through to understand. Then we come to what's called a stop and think. Now we insert these stop and thinks throughout the course. The idea is that as you're reading something, it'll say stop and think, and then there'll be a few different questions or prompts. And you get to pick the one that you want to respond to, and then you write out the answer to that and turn that in, upload that to Canvas. And one thing I want to emphasize is that every time there's a writing assignment for something for you to turn in, we have a minimum word requirement, which is that you need to make sure that whatever you turn in is at least 250 words, which is, it's not really that many. It's really one page of double-spaced typing. That's 250 words. So you just want to make sure whenever you do a stop and think, or any one of the activities that we do or exercises where you have to write something, just make sure do a word count to make sure you've got at least 250 words. Otherwise, we'll normally send you a note back asking you to write some more so that you make sure you get at least 250. You can write more than 250, of course, if you like, but just make sure you've always got at least one full page, 250 words. All right, so there is a stop and think to do, and there's a little study guide to prepare you for the quiz that will cover Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. And then Chapter 3 is very similar. There's things for you to read, little articles and so forth. There's a stop and think as well. There's also a study guide and a quiz, same basic format. Chapter 4 covers nonverbal communication, and it's organized in the same sort of way where there's some material for you to be able to read, and then there's also going to be a stop and think. There's also an activity for you to do. We call it the nonverbal experiment, which you get to actually go out and do. And then there is a study guide and a quiz as well. There's also some links that go along with this, some video examples and things of that nature that add to the information in the reading. All right, Module 5 deals with the subject of listening, and you'll see there's several different things to read, but there's also quite a few different clips from TV shows and movies that show examples of some of the things that we're talking about. There's also an exercise, an activity for you to do, and you'll see, of course, that it always says the due date as well, right? You want to watch out for these due dates, right, so that you always catch up on them and don't go beyond them. And you'll see that's getting us into December. Module 6, Chapter 6 is dealing with conflict resolution, dealing with difficult situations in communication. And again, there are several articles. There's also a quiz for you to do. And Chapter 7 moves us into the idea of, what about communication in difficult situations, like touchy, difficult things? Like, for example, what if you know someone who's grieving over someone who's committed suicide, or who's severely depressed, or has cancer, things of this nature. Like, how do you really talk to someone in that kind of difficult situation? And there's several really, really good articles here about that. Then there's an assignment. It's a reflection, and the reflection is basically, you get to pick like whatever parts of these articles you want to talk about and reflect on. You'll see that there is a prompt there for you to be able to answer. And you'll be able to look at that and see it, and to be able to write about it in the way that you think is appropriate. All right, so that gets us all the way down to the final. And the final for this class is a presentation, a recorded presentation. It's really an idea where you are going to talk a bit to the camera about your skill package and to summarize it, and talk about what you got out of it, essentially. What did you learn from the process? And so that will be your final. It's not an examination or a test. It's really, it's like a speech. As if we're in a normal non-COVID type of situation where we're meeting in person, this is what we would do on the last night. Each person would give a short talk to the rest of the class, 2 to 3 minutes, just about their skill package. What do they learn from it? What do they get out of it? So that's what we do. Again, there's also a link to video examples of people giving their final speeches in other classes, so that you can kind of get a sense of what it was really like, what they did. Finally, there's a final evaluation that we give you extra credit for it. We really like to have everybody do this because you get to evaluate us in the course of what you thought of it. And there's also a couple of extra credits here. So a couple of extra credits. How do you like that? We'd like to give you guys opportunities. Let's say you miss a quiz, something like that happens, because the quizzes don't stay up for the entire course. So you might miss a quiz. This is a way to quickly make up for it by doing one of the extra credits. And sometimes we'll even add additional extra credits before the end of the class. So this gives you a really, this gives you a quick overview of the entire class. There's more information up here at the top in the first section where you get to look at the actual syllabus itself. I recommend that you read this over, and it'll give you more information on different ways to be able to contact us. Sometimes email, of course, is always there, but we list our phone numbers in the syllabus as well. Often it's faster if you want to just send us a text message if you have a quick question. It's a nice, easy way to get a hold of us. So it's all here, and all the basic information that you need is here contained. Okay, well, thank you very much for listening, and we will see you on course.